Good morning, traders. Jefferson Fossey here with Walsh Trading. Happy Friday, everyone. It is Friday, October 3rd. It's a couple ticks here after 7:45 here in the morning. Hope you've all had a good week trading. And here's to hoping you finish out the week strong here as well. Please keep in mind futures trading does involve substantial amounts of risk. Certainly not suitable for all investors, traders, or producers. So let's take a look here and see what the markets did here yesterday, what may have happened here in the overnight markets, and what might be on tap here for today. First off, starting off with live cattle, December down $1.02 yesterday. 233.47 is where it finished, just above 50-day moving average support. That's the third time here in the last 5 trading days we've interacted with that moving average. Also bounced off a little trend line that I've got drawn on there off the low here from August 15th to the low that we had here September 10th. So holding up on support here, about a weak close here for fat cattle here yesterday. Volume was pretty good here, so the market might be trying to get a little bit of steam here as it wants to roll over a little bit, perhaps. We'll see if that support holds here today. I think that's very critical for cattle. If we don't hold that, I think they do want to turn a little bit lower. Keep in mind box beef prices have actually come back right to where they were here exactly 2 months ago. So they rallied quite aggressively and then they fell apart quite aggressively. Feeder cattle yesterday gapped lower here on the open, leaving a hole on the chart here up to 357.02. Close was at 352.40, very close to the lows of the day here, down 5.20 on the day. Now, feeders aren't nearly as close to support here yet as live cattle are. You got the 50-day moving average here. That's the green line on my chart. So it's the 348.51. A little bit of support there. We haven't really touched that average. Got to go all the way back here to April 7th, 8th, 9th. That was the last time we had a good interaction with that moving average. I don't think we hit it here in May. Got real close to it, but I don't think they actually touched. We've also got trend line support here, kind of similar that I drew here on the live calendar. This is from August 18th to the lows here on September 12th. That trend line support here is right around 346.92. Call that 347 for the sake of round numbers. The 350 mark doesn't hold. We could see some liquidation and see some margin selling pressure here from the feeder market. I don't know, that gap makes, we will probably want to go back up and fill that gap here at some point, but the market's looking pretty heavy. Stochastics pointing lower. MACD is also kind of flat and on the bearish side here at the moment. Short-term averages and feeders flipping over to the sell side here with yesterday's trade. Lean hogs, same thing there. They flipped over to the sell side here. The 5 and 10 day averages here yesterday in December. Lean hogs finished the day only down 22, 86.67. That market did bounce down, run down, and go through that 50-day moving average support. That's at 85.84. Bounced off of that and had a nice little close here up toward the highs of the day. We've been down pretty hard, 1, 2, 3, 4 days here, all week lower. Could get a little bit of short covering here today, but I also think that 50-day moving average will hold here. Aggressive and well-margined traders may want to take a shot at the long side here, risking perhaps yesterday's low, depending on where you get in. Maybe even reverse at that point if you think it might just turn and go bearish here from here, but I do think the hog market wants to bounce just a little bit. But the short-term averages 5, 10 day did hook over toward the sell side here with yesterday's trade. These corns down 0.75% here in the overnight session. Was up 5 1/4 here yesterday. It's made two decent days of gains here, well off the lows here on Wednesday. Very strong day up for corn anyway. Here on Thursday this morning, we're in the overnight, we got up to 423. 424 even is right where you've got that 100-day moving average. You can see how that acted as resistance here for about a 2-week period here throughout most of September, or at least a big chunk of it there. It'd be tough for the market to get up above that here. We are trading between the 5 and the 10-day moving averages. I do kind of like corn from the long side, and I do think that we're going to fill this gap right here, but we're going to have a really big harvest. There's going to be a lot of selling pressure. I don't think there's an excess storage capacity out there for corn or for soybeans at this time. So farmers are going to have to sell stuff, and that's still going to keep a little bit of a lid here on prices, but corn's trying to hook itself back up. So are soybeans. My chart's flipping over to the buy side here with this morning's trade, the overnight trade here. We're up, are actually down 1/4 cent is where they finished the pause for the overnight here. Yesterday they gained nicely up 10 3/4, adding to the 11 1/4 that they gained here on Wednesday. 5-10 day turn bullish, but you've got this long-term averages, the 50, the 200, the 100. That's a big cluster of resistance. It was support here for a little bit here early in September, but right now that's a big cluster of resistance. Here kind of snacked up between what, 1024 and a half and up to 1029 and a quarter. If the market can get through there, I think we've got a shot to run back up to the upside here. But same thing that I said with corn, I think harvest is going to be really good for soybeans. And I think there's still a little bit of farmer selling pressure ahead, because I don't think that there's enough storage out there available just to put stuff and sell it later. Soy meal, it's up $1.30 here this morning. Short-term averages also turning to the bullish side there. Those are giving you support here right around this 276.40 mark. We're at 280.60 here today. Starting to turn up. Now seasonally these all kind of do turn higher here at this point. Corn, soybeans, soy meal, bean oil all do turn higher here a little bit in the month of October. Typically, don't always have to. Soy meal is going to give you some resistance here right around 284.80. Call that 285. That's also kind of coincidental with that little bit of a trend line resistance that I've got drawn on here from September 9th to September 19th. That number there today is 285.30. So for the sake of round numbers, 285 is going to be your resistance number. Also might pause a little bit against the lows that we had here early September, and that was at that 281.40 mark, but we're almost there. The overnight high was just shy of that. I do like soy meal from the long side here. Bean oil had an equilibrium day here yesterday. A doji in the market. Yesterday's high was 50.75. The low was 49.98. Short-term averages are flipping over to the bullish side here with bean oil as well. Might want to bounce up and get back up to that trend line here that I've got up there. That trend line resistance today would be all the way up at 53.86, almost 54 cents even. I don't think that's in play today, but that's where I would expect resistance. Also notice the 50 and the 100-day. The 50 and the 100-day are very, very close to making a bearish crossover. But keep in mind they turned bullish here way back in February. It wasn't a very clean trend, but it was a nice little trend up since then. But they are getting awful close to turning to the bearish side here on bean oil. Looking at Chicago wheat, December wheat's up 2.5 this morning, adding to the 5.5 cents it gained yesterday. We're at 517 1/4. I do like that spike low here on Wednesday. I think that's a relatively bullish sign. Need much more momentum though. The wheat market's been beat down here for quite some time. Going to have resistance 527.5. That's the 50-day moving average. But wheat market is pointing higher. Stochastics turning up. MACD starting to hook up as well. KC wheat's not as friendly. That's at 501. It's up 2 cents here today. That's adding to the 3.5 it gained here yesterday. Same thing with Chicago wheat. It's been an overarching long-term downtrend. Stochastics are starting to hook up, and we've had, well, a decent day here on Wednesday, but then yesterday in the overnight trade here today, giving a little bit of a bullish pop here. We'll see if the markets can hold that. Other markets that I've got signals in here this morning, 10-year notes. Those are trading here today at 112.28. They're down about a 1.5 or a tick and a half here on the day. Short-term average is 5-10 day hooking over to the buy side, giving you support here right around this 112.23 half area. There is a Fed meeting here at the end of the month, the 28th, 29th, and that's the next opportunity for the Fed to lower rates, and the market seems to be kind of pricing that in, but we'll see how all that goes here as we work our way throughout the month. And finally, finishing off, the only other market that I've got a new signal in here today, it's a Russell 2000. Stock indexes, the E-mini, the NASDAQ, the Dow all flipped to the bullish side back again here yesterday. Russell's doing that here this morning. It's up about 7.7, almost 8 points higher here right now. Stocks have not been zooming, but they have had a very nice uptrend, and for the moment, I think that dips need to be bought here in the stock market. I do appreciate you guys listening. If you have any questions, comments, please let me know how I can help. I will talk to you here on Monday.